All right, guys. So earlier today, you had a really long lesson. Sorry, on the religion of Islam as part of what we're looking at for fundamental needs of humans. So today, I'm also gonna have you start some other work to do with that. If you don't get it done today, that is okay. I picked one next week that there'll be a little bit less to fill in for, so that you can keep working on this one if you need to. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the difference in calendar. So in your work, you guys are going to need a few things for this lesson. You have something that looks like this, but instead of orange and yellow, it is gray and darker gray. You have a list of holidays. And hopefully you have put these in your binder, but you have a whole bunch of calendar sheets for the whole year of next year. And then also, hopefully in your binder, you have a bunch of blank maps for the different continents. So we're going to use all of these materials for your calendar and for your maps for the entire rest of the school year. So it's one you guys are going to want to hold on to. If you do lose one here or there, that's okay. We'll help you replace them. But we're going to try and hold on to them. And when we clean out our binders in December, you guys will leave this set of calendar sheets and countries in your geography area or for upper elementary, wherever you have placed them. So I'm going to turn my screen so that you guys can kind of see a little bit better what we're working with here, kind of like I did when we did our color wheel lesson. So the calendar that people who are Muslim follow for everyday use, they do the same. We do with January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. For like going to work, for school, for all of those things, they do the same calendar that we do. But for holidays and for things that have to do with their religion, their calendar is different. Their calendar then goes by the phases of the moon that we talked about. So it starts at the crescent moon and ends at the full moon. So here, you guys, we have it colored in for their months for all of 2021. So right now it's Jumada al-Awwal, because January of 2021 starts in December. So that's what it is right now. And then midway through January, on January 14th, because of the phases of the moon, their month is going to change into Jumada al-Thani. And that'll go all the way until February 12th. So every time these colors switch, it's a new month for their holidays, which becomes really important because you guys remember I talked about that holiday of Ramadan, right? So Ramadan is a holiday that is 1 month long, and it's actually a month in their calendar. So if we look at where we have April, Ramadan is a month that starts for them on April 13th, and it goes all the way until May 12th. So that is that month, and Ramadan is the biggest holiday that we talked about in the other lesson in Muslim religion. So it's that whole month. So from April 13th to May 12th, they are celebrating that. And a little bit into the 13th for the finishing up of that. But that is where that month goes to. And then they start a new month, which is Shawwal. And they continue on through. So I will let you guys, if you want to look at kind of the differences between some of the months, some of them have about half and half. A lot of them do, for how our months correspond. Some of them, like November, is primarily 1 month as well. It's got about 5 days into it that it's not, and 4 days into December. Same with September, or October, or December. Just kind of depends on what the moon is doing during the year as to when their months fall. So we'd start with a crescent moon on August 9th and end with a full moon on September 7th. So I'll let you guys kind of explore that a little bit more on your own. What I wanted to show you guys for what we're doing next is you have this list of holidays that you're going to want to get out. And you have this guy. So normally when we do our calendars for each month, we write in what the different holidays are. In this case, we are only going to do that for the major holidays. The rest we are just going to put a green square around so that we know that it is a holiday. Now, if you do want to write them in, or if you feel like you can with the amount of space that's given, go for it. But I know that there's a small square to write some of these longer holidays in for some of you guys. So if you look at the top of your list, we don't start in January, we start in March. March 10th is their first holiday, and it's in the month of Rajab. So March 10th. So I'm going to move January, flip it over, February, March of 2021. And I need March 10th. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So March 10th, you guys, I'm going to draw around the inside of the square in green for Islam. And when we do other colors, we'll come back in. So Judaism is going to be blue, Christianity is purple, Buddhism we're going to do red, Hinduism orange, Taoism yellow, and just kind of keep going through some of our different colors. But for now, March 10th is Laylat al-Miraj. And I will give you guys a chance if there's a holiday that you guys want to research a little bit more as we go through, you can. For now, we're just practicing on knowing that those are a holiday for each religion. If we got into each one, that would be quite a bit of work, and we will actually talk about this one when it happens in March for the ones that happen during the school year. So March 10th, Laylat al-Miraj. March 29th, so I got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 29, I'm going to do the same thing on the inside where I'm going to color it in green. I'm not going to color my whole square in because as we'll find out with some of our holidays, some religions celebrate holidays on the same day. And we talked about a little bit about that with Day of the Dead, Halloween, and Samhain. And we'll talk more about it with some of our other holidays. And that's all I have for March. 2 Islamic holidays. And then I'm going to move to April. April, you guys, remember we said April 13th starts the month of Ramadan. So I'm going to come here to April 13th. And I'm going to color in not only April 13th, but the holiday goes the entire month. It is not one day. I'm going to color in the squares all the way through until May 13th, when the next holiday is. Gonna keep on going all the way through. 15, and that does include the weekends. Every day for that month. You can see a pretty important holiday. And you guys remember where we talked about that a little bit yesterday for what the holiday is. And we will again talk about it when it gets to be April. Because we will be having school during the holiday for this one. As I go along, I can actually just color the ones that I've not had a chance to do yet, rather than going over each one twice. And that can save me a little bit of time for what we're doing for how big this one is. I'm actually just gonna boom, boom, 1, 2, and I'm almost done with April. You guys might not be yet, that's okay. If you need to pause me once I'm done with April and continue doing yours, and then unpause the video when you get there, that is just fine. I've got all of April colored in. Looks about like that. I'm actually going to move these guys closer. And so that is Ramadan in April. Now Ramadan also goes into May because their months are different because they go by the moon calendar, or the phases of the moon, or a lunar calendar. So I know it goes till May 12th or 13th, depending on kind of where you are and how people celebrate. Because even though it's all the one religion of Islam, some groups and some parts of the world celebrate things a little bit differently. And that's going to be the same of every religion just about that we talk about, is that within that belief system, there are always going to be people that celebrate just a little bit differently or have just slightly differing beliefs, but they have the same major things in common. And so that is what makes them part of that group. Gonna keep on going until I have to sharpen my pencil, which for me is just twisting, which is nice. That's why I decided to use it for these ones. 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm going to color in the 13th because if you see Eid al-Fitr is a holiday then. And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to go back to April. I want you to write down the important holiday, the biggest major holiday for each religion that we go through. And for Islam, that is Ramadan. So we are going to label R-A-M-A-D-A-N for Ramadan. We're going to label the end of Ramadan as well, which is May 13th, which is Eid, E-I-D-A-L-F-I-T-R. And then I don't have any more holidays in May. So I actually get to skip through till July. So May, nothing in June. I do apologize for my copy for June. And then to July, in which I have a piece of Timothy hay. Thank you, guinea pigs. Lovely present. All right, so July 19th is another holiday. Eid al-Adha. So I'm going to find the number 19 in July, and I'm just going to draw a green square around it so that I know that it's a holiday. And then I don't have any more in July. I can move on to August. So August 10th is the New Year for them, Islamic New Year. So I'm going to find 10, put my green square around it. If you guys wanted to write this one down too, you could. I'm going to. You don't have to because I just told you you had to write down Ramadan. All right, so I have August 10th, and then on August 19th, I have another holiday, which is Ashura. So I'm going to go draw another green square on August 19th. And then I don't have anything left for August, and I only have one more major holiday. So August, September, I need October. So October, you guys, we actually talked a little about this one a few weeks ago, which is Mawlid, which is the birth of the Prophet Muhammad. And so people who are Muslims celebrate his birthday. This next coming year, it's going to be on October 19th. For Mawlid Nabi. And that is all you guys have to do for your calendar. You can neatly put these back together. There's glitter on mine now. Yay, glitter! Hopefully yours doesn't mysteriously also have glitter on it, because I have nothing. I do have glittery things. That explains where that came from. Hopefully yours doesn't mysteriously have glitter though. And you can carefully put these back in your thing. Meanwhile, before you do though, up here on January, do you see where it says Islam? You're going to draw green next to it because that's the color you used for the Islamic holidays. And we'll label each other one as we go through. So you can put these guys away. You don't have to keep the sheet with the holidays if you don't want to, but if you did want to look into any of them, you are more than welcome to. Now, on to our maps. This is the second really important thing that we are doing, is we are going to, in the end, it's going to look like this. You're not doing this today. Don't worry. We'll get there over time. We're just doing the green today. You guys are going to map out for each of these continents what religions are kind of the primary religions in each country. So that doesn't mean that if I go to here in Russia, so purple is Christianity, that if I go to this exact spot in Russia, everyone there will be Christian. That's not what this one means. We are using our colors to show the majority of the religion in that country. The people in these exact places, obviously, just like us, can believe individually what they want to believe and differently. So for today, we're going to do our green, which is Islam. And you can see there's quite a few countries, at least in Asia, that have a lot of people who believe in the religion of Islam. And there's different parts here and there. Brown, you guys, is one that we're going to actually see quite a bit because brown is kind of our other category. So here in Russia, primarily it's purple, which is Christianity, but we also have brown. Now, brown for Russia might include people who believe in Islam, But there are so few of them that if I was going to put any green on my map, it would be like one dot. So rather than do that for each one, we are doing brown for the majority of other religions. In a lot of places, that also means things that the native people that were there before some of these other religions came in, that is what they believe. And still, that is the case for Japan and some parts of Indonesia and a lot of these other countries. Or there might just be smaller bits of some of the other religions that we've talked about. Like I said, we're going to do the green today. And I'm going to show you how for each one. I would say as we go through this, I would pause on each map with me so that we can kind of see where we're going. So, green is Islam. We're going to start down here with Indonesia. Indonesia, you guys, is primarily, most of the people there believe in Islam. Some of them don't. We've got some brown over here. So we will come back in with the brown later. Today we are just doing the green. So I'm going to start over here at the top part of Indonesia, and I'm going to color in this whole island. Because this whole island is a good chunk and percentage of Indonesia, and I'm just going to keep going until I've colored in most of Indonesia, because most of the people that are there and live there follow or believe in that religion. That does not mean that all of them do, but quite a few of them do, and that's what we're showing with our map today. So I've got most of mine green here for Indonesia. I'm going to leave this for when we come back in later with our brown. Next, you guys, right here, we have a very, very tiny country, which is Singapore. Singapore is quite a bit also for Islam, for people that believe in that and live there. So we're going to color it about half. Next, we have Malaysia. Malaysia's kind of tricky. It's here and here. So what I'm going to do on my map is I'm going to draw an arrow from Malaysia over to this island. So I remember that Malaysia is both of these. Malaysia, you guys, has a pretty good amount of Islam. So we're going to color in about that much on this island. And to remember that this is also that, we're going to color in about there for Islam for Malaysia. And then, you guys, we have another really tiny country. Brunei's right here. And Brunei is a good bit too. We're going to color him in, and we'll add some brown later. And then if you guys notice up in here, we have a lot of religions that we've not actually talked about yet. So we're going to leave this guy blank for now. We're going to go up to China. China has a decent Muslim population, not nearly as much compared to the whole country, but enough that we're going to color it a little bit. And then you guys notice up here, our next one that we're going to come to is Myanmar. And that has a little bit as well. So we're going to color just the top little bit of Myanmar here. So I'm going to pause and let you guys look at what I have so far. We've got Indonesia, some of Malaysia, Brunei, China, and Myanmar so far. All right. We don't have to do anything up here with Japan or Mongolia or Russia. So we're going to move over here to Bangladesh. Bangladesh, you guys, is this word here, and the arrow points into this country. Bangladesh's primary religion is Islam, so most people that are there have told the government or people who are asking that they believe in Islam. Now, we're going to go next to it up here to Nepal. Nepal has a little bit, not a lot, but enough, again, that we're going to color it in. And then below Nepal here, we have the country of India. India, you guys, is primarily Hindu, and there's been some conflict there between the two religions, which kind of ends up with Pakistan. So we are going to color till about here, though, because according to the last survey that was taken, there is a decent amount, about 15% of the population identifies as Islam. Then down here, we have a little bitty island who also said the same. The Maldives. We'll come back in and add a little bit brown for that one later. You guys can see. Okay. Then we've got India. Now we're getting up to the part where there's quite a bit of green. And do you guys remember when we talked about the Arabian Peninsula in our lesson yesterday? Quite a bit of it over here. So Pakistan, you guys, is right here. So we're going to go around the outside of Pakistan, between Pakistan and India. And most of Pakistan is Islam. So we're going to come through. And even though I know the next ones are also green, I'm going to color them one at a time. So Pakistan, you guys, going to color in. Pakistan. And like I said, we'll come back for the rest later. Afghanistan's going to be similar. I'm going to kind of follow my line up here and go around for Afghanistan and color them in green. And I'm going kind of fast, but I'm also making sure that I don't leave a lot of white spaces either. All right, so I've got Afghanistan. Up above Afghanistan, I have Tajikistan. But I'm not going to go here where I ended because that is actually still part of Afghanistan that will come back in color later. I'm going to look for the next border line here, which is here for Tajikistan. Outline that green for you guys. And I'm going to go and color Tajikistan. It's, for the most part, going to be green. Most people that live there have told people who asked that they are Muslim. All right, then we're going to flip over to Uzbekistan. Actually, we're going to go to Kazakhstan first. Kazakhstan is up here, you guys. Big one. Primarily also Islam, so I'm going to draw a line kind of from the K to Kyrgyzstan across and go up and follow the border. And around this, which is a big body of water, up above Uzbekistan, and boom. And then I'm going to color that area in green. Green, 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 green. For Islam. If you guys need to pause me at any point to sharpen your pencil or just to take a break, that's fine. After we get out of Asia, there is a lot less on the other maps for Islam to color in. This is kind of the primary hub until we get to Africa. So, yeah, that's what we've got so far. We've got those guys. We're going to go down here now to Uzbekistan, which is primarily going to be green. We're going to go about here. And then up and follow the border. And green. All the way through. We're going to leave some in here that we're going to come back in later for brown. And then Turkmenistan. Also primarily green. We're going to leave a little bit here to come back in later for. Yeah. Green for Turkmenistan. And then Iran, you guys, is pretty much the same. I made my brown kind of here and left some space in between so I could tell the difference between the two countries. You can do your brown wherever you like. Just make sure you follow the border for Iran all the way around, and then you can come back in and color them in. Whee! All right. And then Iraq is the same, where it's primarily people who believe in Islam, which is all right. We're going to color him green too. Syria, you guys, up here gets a little bit different. It's got mostly Islam, but there's actually a decent amount of the population who has said that they also believe in other things. So we're going to color most of Syria here. We're going to leave some space. And then Georgia up here is similar. It's about half Islam, and it's going to be about half Christian when we get to that one in a few weeks that we'll come back in and color it. And then Armenia and Azerbaijan, we're going to leave until we get to the later religion. Most of the people there don't go for that one. That's a lie. Sorry, Armenia we are. Azerbaijan, we're going to color in. So we're going to go very carefully around the country border and color them in. My apologies. All right. We've got most of it done, guys. We're almost done with Asia. And then we'll move on to our other continents, which, like I said, there is a lot less. So we've got Syria, and here we've got Jordan. Jordan, you guys. Jordan is primarily Islam. So we're going to go in and color this guy. And then Saudi Arabia, you guys, I actually left a good bit of brown here so I could tell the difference between my two countries, because Saudi Arabia is primarily has people that follow Islam, but there is a decent part of the population that identifies otherwise. So we're going to make sure we include that in there, because that's important for what we want to look at later. All right, and then we've got Yemen down here, which is primarily Islam, but there's a little bit of others. So we're going to leave a little bit of space there for some brown later. If for some of these you want to go back in and add the brown, you can, but not for the other ones yet. And same with Oman. We're going to trace primarily around Oman here and color it in. We're going to leave a little bit of space down there for some brown. And then the next one here is the United Arab Emirates, which is about 50-50. We're going to draw a line down the middle, do some green, and we'll come back in with another color later. And then here, this itty bitty one here is Qatar. It's got a little bit of green, and we'll come back in with some others. And Bahrain, same thing, some green, and we'll come back in later for some others. So that is what we've got so far for Asia. And you are welcome to go put this back in your binder. If you're still coloring your Asia map, I would suggest pausing here because I'm going to move to the next continent in just a moment. All right. Not you yet. We're going to go South America. South America, you guys, has a lot less. I've even already kind of colored it here. We have Guyana and Suriname. That's it for South America. There might be some in these other countries a little bit like we discussed with our other map, but it's not enough that we're going to color it on. So that is what we have for South America. Europe, you guys, is a little bit different. So down here, we're going to start with Turkey. All of Turkey. A lot of people who are Muslim there. And then from Turkey, we're going to make our way up to this tiny country here called Macedonia. Starts with an M. We're going to color a little bit of that green. And then underneath it we have Albania. We're going to color a good bit of that one green as well. So Albania, Macedonia. Here in Serbia, we also have a decent bit. So we're going to come and very carefully trace around these borders because some of these European countries get really small. We're going to go like that. And then we've got one more over here, which is Bosnia. So we're going to go across Bosnia and very, very carefully make sure we don't edge into anybody else's country here, because that would not show our accurate map. And then up here, we've got the United Kingdom that we're going to do some up here. So that is what we have for Europe so far. So I'm going to let you guys pause here and finish coloring in parts of Europe. Okay, so you guys should have Europe down now. I'm going to switch over and we're going to do North America. I realize I didn't give you guys Africa. We will remedy that for next week and we will add in Islam in Africa at that time. All right, so most of North America, you guys, Central America through here, really does not have enough people who are Muslim to add in. United States and Canada does have a decent percentage for their population. So we are going to color in a little bit of green in the United States. You can honestly do wherever in the US you want. I just started from the right as that will be easier to continue on. And then Canada up here also has a decent population. So there we go. And that's all we have to do for today, guys. I guess I will leave that on there for you guys to look at for a moment. Other than that, happy working on things, and I hope you had a good time. I'm really excited for what all of our maps will turn out in the end, but it's going to take us a while to get there. So just make sure you put these back nice and neatly in your binder. And like I said, if it takes you into tomorrow to come back to this video and get them done, that is okay. Have a good day, guys. See you later.